Yeah, I felt like the first night we played a little bit like it was our first game, and that might sound a little ridiculous, but we've got three guys that are first year in the Minot State uniform, and we've got three more guys that are just in their second year with us that are playing in our top 8 or 9. So it's a lot of guys that are still relatively inexperienced, and they played a little bit like it on Friday night. We didn't play our best game. Um, Saturday, I thought we played with a lot more energy, a lot more enthusiasm, executed better, and were able to get a win. So much better overall effort on Saturday, but overall it was a good weekend. Not a great weekend. You know, a great weekend would have been coming home 2-0, but we were able to get some experience, play a lot of guys, play two pretty decent teams, and get a split on the weekend. But definitely excited to be home for the next 4 or 5 games and open up tonight.
Coaches, you're getting like all your new guys gelling early on in the season. Does this home stretch you have coming up really help out at all with that, or is it just whatever?
No, I think it's really key early in the season to be able to have a stretch of games at home. We talked yesterday with our team. We've got a chance for about 2 weeks now, a little over 2 weeks, to be here, to not have to have days where your schedule's off because of travel, where you're in a van or in a bus or on a plane. So it's kind of key to be able to sleep in the dorms, have them be in their own beds, have a little bit better practice times, get on a little bit more of a routine schedule, but also kind of have that home day atmosphere. And we've got, like you said, a couple weeks of that in a row. I think it's a big time for us to get some game experience, which is the only way to get better, really, is to get in those games and get some guys out there and see some different opponents and some different experience, but also just to practice and have a routine schedule here. A big 2.5 weeks for us here to kind of see where we're at and really get our basketball team going in the right direction.
Tonight you're playing a team that you beat less than a month ago. What do they do well, and just kind of talk about that.
Right, Dickinson State's a very athletic team. It's been a team that, Minot State and Dickinson State rivalry's gone back a number of years. They're not too far away, an in-state opponent, an old DAC rival, so it's always a little bit more fun to play them. We've played them every twice a year for the last few years because we've got kind of gone home and home, and we've got the Doug Jagger trophy that we'll be playing for tonight. He's an alumni from Beaver basketball that passed away. That's came back when he was fighting Lou Gehrig's disease and gave a great speech to our team. And he's also been supportive of Dickinson State, so it makes the rivalry even a little bit more special to be playing for that and playing in memory of him. But it's just it's a team that plays really hard and pressures the basketball and wants to speed us up and get us out of our stuff. And right now we've been turning the ball over a little bit too much. So it'll be good to play a team that tries to force turnovers, just to see how much better we've gotten at that in the last couple days in practice, and something that we need to be better in for the rest of the year.
Dickinson State isn't the only NAI club that you're going to be playing before you open the conference schedule, and you alluded to it a little bit before. Is maybe the most important thing right now that, especially in games like that, I know you're getting Mayville too, just to get those game reps on the game court before you kick off the Northern Sun part of your schedule?
Right, you can practice against each other and do everything and try to encourage high intensity and high energy drills, but there's nothing quite like walking in the gym and smelling the popcorn and having the lights on and having some people in the stands. And usually that it ramps up the intensity a little bit. That's always the case on those first games, and there's really nothing like getting out there and playing those games that count. And we need to get better here this next homestand. We've got 3 more games here before we start playing the NSIC schedule, and then from there on out, those 22 games are really tough basketball games. So we've got to use these next 3 here at home against some of the in-state NAIA teams to really get to full speed, get used to the game situations that you're going to see. There's a variety of different teams will play. They have different strengths and weaknesses, but get the guys back up to speed that have been in our program, get the new guys or the guys that haven't played much, that are in their first season of having big roles, get them out there a little bit more and just get them comfortable playing at a Division II basketball speed. And you can't replicate that in practice. Practice is great. You can compete, get out there, dive on the floor for loose balls, go hard, but you just can't compete what it's like to play a game. And we've got a chance to get better in those game situations the next couple weeks.
Alluding back to your win, here you said that you noticed that the intensity level was a little bit higher that day. That you were, that your first game was maybe looked like exactly that. The first game, second game, not so much. Do you think if you bring that same energy level as you did in the second game, that what can that do for your club if you're able to produce that on a consistent basis?
Right. I think that that first game we had some guys that looked like they were still feeling it out a little bit, just trying to see what it was all about, what the game was going to bring, instead of really getting out there and attacking it. They were more in a reactive mentality. And we've got to be a team that's on the attack and playing with energy. We're not the most talented team. We're not the biggest team. We're not the fastest team. We've got to be a workman-like team. So for us to bring that every game is really key. We've got to get loose balls. We've got to keep basketballs alive on the glass. We've got to make those effort-type plays. That's the way we're built to win right now. If we don't do that, we won't be successful. If we are able to do that, then we give our team a chance to be pretty successful this year. And much more happy with that Saturday night and our victory. A lot less feeling it out, a lot more just trying to make plays. And even if you make a mistake, make a big mistake. Make a going hard mistake, and we can live with those type of mistakes as a basketball coaching staff. We do that, we're pretty good. I think we have a chance to be pretty good. We're definitely still a work in progress, but we'll find out a lot more here the next 4 or 5 days when we have these 3 games at home.
What are your expectations of what you'll be up against, Coach, as your homestand continues? First against Mayville State and then University of Jamestown.
Yeah, when we go against those 2 teams, haven't dug into them really deep yet. Been focusing on Dickinson State. Just kind of got back on Sunday afternoon from our trip. But I know those 2 teams are both well-coached teams. They're a little bit smaller teams, but they're teams that have a lot of guys that can shoot the basketball, score from the perimeter. Especially Jamestown will look to play a fast pace. And it's nice to play these different teams that give you a different look in what they're trying to do, just so your team in non-conference can see some different situations. But those teams, both of them finished the year last year fairly strong. Mayville had their best year in a long time. Jamestown is traditionally a ranked NAI team and usually in the national tournament or close to make it to the national tournament. So those will be good games as well. And really right now, it's about us getting better, and it'll be nice to see those different situations as we get rolling in those games. But the big thing for us right now is, as we've said a couple times, is just to bring that energy level, be able to play fast, be able to play hard, but also be able to execute while you're going at a game speed.
What kind of situations do you expect to be up against? You guys would probably have a bunch of reps, facing those kind of teams, like you said, they have some good shooters.
Yep.
Defensively, what can you work on by facing a group like that?
Right, Dickinson State will play some zone. They have a 6'11" kid and a 7-foot kid, so they have a little bit of size, so that's a little bit different than some of the other teams that will play. They try to force turnovers. Jamestown will play really small, 6'5" and under, shoot a ton of threes, try to play a fast pace, and then Mayville State will slow it down a little bit from there. So 3 teams that all they do a good job of playing to their strengths. They're all well coached, so it's just nice to have those different looks, I guess, because once we get into conference, it's the same type of thing. You have different teams within our league that are really good at one thing or another, and you've got to be able to play your style of basketball regardless of who you're playing against on the other side of the court. So it'll be a challenge for us just to stick to what we do, I think, and I'd rather do that than play 3 teams that are really similar, I think, early on here in this preseason. And that's, we only get 6 preseason games in our league, or non-conference games, and we've got, we have 2 down, we've got 3 here before we kick off league, and then we've got 1 more right before Christmas break. So you've got to make the most of those, and we're still trying some different combinations and some different rotations substitution-wise with our basketball team too. So we've still got a lot to learn as a coaching staff about our players, but I like the step we took from Friday night to Saturday night last week, and I like the mentality that we came with that next night. Hopefully we can continue that and just play that aggressive style of basketball.